Hold on. Welcome everyone once again to the No Cell Wrestling podcast. This is episode 22, or maybe we should start calling it also by the date. So yeah, this is for the first week of August 2026. And what happened on the first day of August 2026? Well, that was night one of Summerslam 2026. Night one and night two, Saturday and Sunday. I am joined as normal by my regular co-host now, Alan. Coleman and Kev are still on the channel, but we're waiting for them to get a bit of free time on the work. I'm sure they'll be back doing this when they can. But yes, today you just get myself and Alan. And Alan, you watched both nights. You watched the night two on a bit of a delay. So did night two get spoiled for you, or were you able to somehow navigate the social media waters?
I was doing okay with it because with night two, I set my alarm because I thought, because I knew I was working the next day, but I was going to try and do a bit of skiving and see if I can just go to sleep, watch the show, maybe catch another hour and then do that. But that fell completely into the wayside because by the time I woke up, 3 matches were done. I woke up to seeing the final minutes of Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. And I thought, okay. And things right after that match, Michael Cole said, "Oh, let's check what Booker T and what's his face were making of on WWE Radio about the other matches." And then they gave away the Kevin Owens thing. They gave away Baron Corbin winning the US title. Oh, thanks for that.
Well, so technically, it was WWE themselves who spoiled it for you.
Yeah, it's ruined it for me. Yeah,
lovely.
But it's fine. But I did. I went to work. I came back the next day and I watched the whole show from beginning because I don't know what they didn't actually allude to what the thing was behind Kevin Owens being in that match because they just showed him giving Sami Zayn a stunner and pinning him. And I thought, okay, that's weird. Because of the angle and how that angle was, how they filmed it. I didn't see Finn Balor in the shot or anybody else. And I thought, okay, well, maybe Finn Balor was taken out, if you want, behind the scenes and then replaced by Kevin. That's what I thought. But I thought, I'll go back and watch the thing. And then, of course, you find out that it's been turned into a fatal four-way for some reason.
Yeah. There were two big returns that we'll talk about over the weekend. And they were big returns. These are two guys who are kind of main eventers. Though Kevin Owens might differ on. I mean, you think Kevin Owens would be a bigger star than he is, but he's actually only won. He's only ever won the world title on one occasion. After the Finn Balor injury, so Finn Balor got injured after he won it, vacated it, and then so that's when Kevin Owens won it. It was a whole year where he had his friendship with Jericho. So that's how far back we're going. When Kevin Owens had his one and only world champion, so Kevin Owens has become the guy who challenges and never wins it, and I actually think that will be probably the same this time as well. But we'll talk about that soon. So there was another big return, but let's start at the beginning. So night one, I know you did watch this live because we were all chatting about it.
Yep, mostly.
So overall, we don't need to go over every single match because that will probably that will be 2 hours, right? Because
we can probably just
so
skill over them.
I think overall for night one, I think overall it was a disappointing. I mean, I think the event overall was disappointing. Other people may disagree, but for me, it was. I don't think it was a disaster. I'm not saying it's the worst thing I've seen. I've seen plenty worse, but I've seen plenty better as well.
Yeah, exactly.
This is meant to be their second biggest show of the year, right? People will say that the Royal Rumble is more important, and I actually think that that's probably true nowadays. But just standalone shows, SummerSlam is meant to be the second biggest show. It's the only other 2-night one for now. It's the only other 2-night one, so they must deem it as their second biggest show. So for their second biggest show, looking at it from that vantage point, I thought the opening match with Io Sky and I'd say Becky Lynch. Then that's on Raw. Liv Morgan. I thought that was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't a bad match.
Big up to Kuva, who says the highlight of night 2 was that the main event was okay. Not like night 1 where Io Sky was amazing. I do know he does actually feel that way, but I also know he's done it because he knows you don't like it, Alan. So you can reply to that in a sec. You don't like Io. So yeah, Io Sky. I thought it was a decent match. I thought I've seen again. I thought it was okay. I think the word okay is. I'm going to be using the word okay for most of this event. I thought it was okay. It was obviously Liv Morgan's first title defense, which is kind of
which is weird,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much they've dropped the ball in that division, and as we'll talk about in a minute with Raw, they must have realised because they've almost pressed the panic button, and we had two returns on Raw, two women who have not been around due to injury and stuff. So they've just thrown these two women right back into the main event scene to give Liv Morgan some challenges. That's all well and good, but you should have done this months ago. But there we are. I thought that match was okay. The 2 6-man tags, I thought the breakout star in the 6-man was Solo Sikoa, who's starting to show some personality. The way he was taking the mick out of Jey Uso was quite funny, and also not that, it was the way the crowd responded, because I think the crowd are now starting to fatigue on Jey Uso. Now they're still doing the yeets because the crowd are sheep. You give them a catchphrase, they'll mostly say it. You get them a little dance to do, they'll do it, right? But that resentment of Jey Uso is growing. So when Solo Sikoa is now on a weekly basis taking the mick out of him, the crowd.
Yeah, it's good. As it should be. I'll give Jey Uso props for one thing he did in that match.
You like the sell of the DDT?
That BFT he took, loved it, and the fact he got pinned with it as well. There you go. There's your former world champion, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, I thought it was a botch originally, but I've watched it back and it's not as bad as my original first impression of it. Was just like, why did he sell it that way? But I was harsh the first time I saw it, but I have watched it back, and it's not as bad as I thought it was. Trying to think what else there was to talk about. Even though this isn't exactly rocket science for pro wrestling, I did say that somebody would turn on somebody in the women's. I thought it was going to be the Bellas. It was the Bella. It was Nikki Bella in particular, because that's the obvious story. But it turns out that Brie Bella's injured herself. So these Bellas can't ever be a team. One always gets injured. So she's injured us. I thought Paige was injured. It looked to me like Paige was really acting gingerly. I thought Paige was the one who's injured, but apparently Brie Bella's injured herself. So that feud might be happening, or maybe it'll be a singles feud. I don't care. Paige was good at a certain time in the same way that AJ Lee was good at a certain time. Okay, so when they didn't have anyone else around them, they stood out. But now there's a lot more better women's wrestlers, so they don't stand out as much. And also, Paige is not the woman she was, which she badly hurt her neck. She's been out of the ring for so many years. I know that she's come back, but she acts gingerly. She acts like she's protecting herself. I'm not going to be too harsh on the poor girl because she's obviously still not recovered from her injury properly. She probably shouldn't be wrestling.
Probably. But now she wanted a big WrestleMania payday and she got one.
Yeah.
Sometimes talks.
Now, there was rumors about, is this going to be the next thing AJ Lee does, because Paige and AJ Lee were friends and the Bellas, and so they're gonna have a tag feud with the Bellas. That way, Paige won't be forced to have singles matches, so she can go easy. And AJ's only ever going to be part time at best anyway. It gives her something to do if she wants to come back. But that looks like that might be all. They can't do that now because, like I say, Brie's got herself injured.
Dream mode.
And terrible music. I'm trying to think what else happened on the first night that I cared about. Okay, so CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. It was the best match on night one.
Yeah, it was the best. It was the best match. And it is the longest match as well. It went for about 30 minutes, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah. A couple of takes I'll say. CM Punk should not try a moonsault again. Bless him.
There's actually a thing on that. There's a match he had with John Cena where he did a moonsault and did exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
Punk said something when he did it, and I think he realized he missed, and he kind of looked to the camera and he said something. I didn't quite catch what he said, but obviously he knows he fucked up.
Yeah, it was a tribute to Terry Funk, who's one of his idols, right? Because Terry Funk used to do a moonsault, and CM Punk, to be fair to him, is more or less challenging his crazy old man, because that's the kind of he's not as crazy as Terry Funk was, but that kind of grizzled veteran, which is the kind of character he's playing because of his age. So I can see he is definitely Terry Funk. So it was a bit of a nod to Terry Funk. Terry Funk didn't have the most graceful moonsault ever, but he did at least hit it. So maybe Punk, not that I need to tell CM Punk about wrestling, but yeah, I like seeing tributes as well. You know, your elbow is a tribute to Randy Savage. You don't hit that the best either, but at least you do actually hit the moves. So yeah. Maybe a one-time tribute was all that was needed, I guess. But overall, the match had a decent story. Nobody acted overly heelish. I think generally, I didn't know if they were going to tell that kind of story and tease a turn. They didn't go that route, really. The crowd generally was quite split. I don't think that the crowd was particularly turning. If they were, maybe it was slightly in Punk's favor. So maybe Cody was getting a little bit more of the boos. I think people didn't want to see him win the title battle. It's not. I don't know if it's that they hate Cody. More like they're just bored of him being champion. So I don't think they wanted him to win it back.
Yeah, they just want new contenders, don't they?
They wanted something new, and Cody's been dominating the world title on SmackDown for 2.5, 3 years nearly now. So I think they wanted some new people, which is what we'll get to. So the finish of the match is they're hitting finishes, they're kicking out, not too many finishes. They were at that sweet spot where it's like, okay, I don't want to see really any more kickouts of finishes. You've both kind of kicked out of your moves, you both hit them, but no more after this. So they were at that kind of point for me where, for me, I started getting a bit annoyed. They weren't quite there. They were at the right. I don't mind a kick out of a finisher, but not when it becomes multiple and multiple. So Randy Orton comes in. So there's a ref bump. Cody hits the crossroad. Punk does roll out. So for those saying that he had the match won, no, because Punk rolled out. So Cody wouldn't have actually been able to get the pin because Punk actually did roll out of the ring. But of course, Punk rolled out of the ring because they didn't want Punk to know about the interference that was going to happen. So that should tell you that they have no plans probably to turn CM Punk heel. Because if they wanted to tease a Punk heel turn, they could have had Punk see what Orton did and not care. But they didn't go that route.
Yeah,
they made it specifically clear that CM Punk did not see the attack. So Randy Orton comes in out of nowhere, which is the slogan. Hits a very good RKO on Cody Rhodes. 2 cheers. Can't forget that. He was not booed. He was cheered.
It's true. He was cheered for that, yeah.
Then does a very kind of baby facious, and this is the part that I don't understand. But then again, we've had this conversation with not understanding what baby faces are anymore. The camera pulls out to see the reaction. Most of the crowd are going crazy. The camera kind of pulls into his face and he winks in a baby face kind of cheeky little way, right? That's not a he. He's acting like a baby face. Like he's got his cheeky little grin on his face, and it reminds me a little bit of how Eddie Guerrero used to be as a baby face. It even reminds me a little bit of Stone Cold. How Stone Cold would have a little twinkle in his eye, if that's the right word to use, when he would do these kind of mischievous things, but he was still a baby face. So, but Orton's meant to be a heel, right? He's meant to be a heel, but the crowd just refused to treat him this way. So they're not going to boo him. So he winks at the camera, then rolls out. Punk comes in, doesn't know what's happened. GTS 1, 2, 3. Obviously, this sets up the obvious Cody versus Randy feud continuing. So that is Cody Rhodes' probably direction. So that will actually take Cody away from the world title, because you don't think he shouldn't get another shot. We know that title shot, that wins and losses don't matter that much in his company.
No,
but that should keep him, Alan. I think it should keep Cody away from the belt for a little while. And Punk can go on to defend against his new challenger, who we'll talk about on night 2. So what did you think of any of those matches? We'll talk about the main event last. We'll both talk about the botched main event in a minute.
Yeah, botched main event. I didn't mind the first match with Io Sky versus Liv. I mean, I'm pissed that this is the fact that it's only Liv's first title defense since Mania. Yeah. The women's division is all but non-existent. Most of the women are just not there.
Yep.
I think we did a count not long ago, and I think we only counted like 7 or 8 of them. Most of them are off TV. I mean, Jordan Grace, where's she? Wasn't she getting bigged up for a world title push at some point? She just vanished into thin air.
I don't know if she got injured, or if they just realised that I think maybe there's rumors going around that she hasn't been impressing people backstage. Has she got the dreaded attitude problem that they always say? Maybe she has.
Maybe. So yeah, that match wasn't bad. I mean, I enjoyed the fact that Io Sky got pinned. That was great. So I felt good. I'd have to hear your music again in the show. Once was enough. Second match, the 6-man tag. The Bloodline versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa. That was good. Yeah, good fun match. Solo is the MVP of that match. Yeah, he knows how to play the crowd, so he's playing a good face, I think. And the fact that he's like taking the piss out of the whole yeeting shit. Thank you, Solo. Thank you for that. That was a lot of fun.
It's great.
I can't remember what match came after that. What match was after the Solo Sikoa match?
The fact that if there was one, we can't remember it should tell us how important it was to us.
There was something in between, because obviously then you had the Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Paige, which I think was just a bit of a trash match. That was
such a slow motion match, that one.
This is going to bother me now. What was that match in the middle? It only ran 11 minutes, I know that. Jeez, what was it?
No, I can't remember it either. We both, whatever the match was, we've both forgotten it.
So yeah, it can't be memorable, whatever it was. So anyone in the chat can tell us what that middle match was. Please let us know, because
I mean, I can obviously go Google for it if you want me to. Yeah, I'll Google it. You talk about the Cody Punk match.
But after the Fatal Influence match, was obviously Cody and Punk. That was good. That was good. You got two guys who know how to tell a story. They know how to work a match. Proper storytelling, which is what you don't get much in the WWE of today. Most of the time it's just finisher spams. How many times can he finish it? How many times can I kick out? It's generally what we get. But the fact that these two are telling a story that they had confrontations many years ago, when Cody Rhodes and Punk were in their prime, if you like. They've both gone away. They've both come back. And inevitably, they've obviously had to cross paths, and we come to this match. I think that it was the right result. Cody doesn't need another title run, at least not now. If he gets one, he probably will get one, but I think he definitely doesn't need it now. So it's good that Punk can carry on, and obviously Punk has a new challenger who we'll talk about very soon.
Yep.
And that could be an interesting match, because I don't think I've seen those two. They've never crossed paths, at least in WWE anyway.
It'd be a new match, which we don't get that many of anymore.
They probably fought in the Indies circuits.
Oh, Nick Aldis versus Gunter.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Nick Aldis versus Gunter. Yeah, of course it was. That was okay. It was a little throwaway match. We all knew that Nick Aldis didn't stand a chance against Gunter. It was basically Gunter versus Pat McAfee Part 2.
Pretty much, yeah.
Although he put a lot more wrestling into it, because obviously Nick Aldis is a wrestler, whereas Pat McAfee's not. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. It wasn't an offensive match. I wasn't disgusted by it. I thought it played out as it should have. Nick Aldis, being the retired star, got some hits in, hit some big moves, but ultimately just put the sleeper, and that was it. Tapped, and that's what I was expecting.
An interesting fact, Alan, about Nick Aldis. I don't think people think about this. It's a difficult one because his career has been much less documented, because he's mainly been in TNA and NWA. He's been in the reformed NWA, obviously not the classic. He's only 39.
He's only 39 years old.
He's younger than Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, obviously. He's younger than all of these guys, but it doesn't feel it. But he's actually younger than the majority of their main eventers. If you take Obafemi away, he's younger. He's younger than Orton as well. I think Orton's like 42, 43. He's younger than Orton as well. He might even be younger than I think Sami Zayn's 40. Wow. And Kevin Owens probably isn't far off as well. So he could be, he is literally the same age as more or less all their main eventers. If you take away like Obafemi.
Sure. Yeah. So he's still got some years left in him, so hopefully we might see him in the ring again.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird when I found out. I said 39. Is that all he is? Yeah.
Yeah. I think if they do put him in the ring again, I think I know who he's going to be against.
Who's that? Adam Priest.
No. Adam Pearce, no. Someone on night two. Well, we'll obviously get to on night two. But it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. No, I think I know who you might mean. Yeah. There's certainly a few if they wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah. What I forgot to mention actually about the 6-man tag, the LA Knight thing. Mm-hmm. For those out there, LA Knight has a record here. He is 3-0 at SummerSlam. He's actually missed a SummerSlam. 2023, he won a Battle Royal. 2024, he beat Logan Paul for US title. He wasn't featured on the last year's 2025 event, but obviously this event, he won the 6-man tag.
There you go. They can start off a new streak like The Undertaker.
So there you go. He's Mr. SummerSlam. LA Knight.
Well, he's been rewarded for it. We'll talk about in a minute how I think that reward's going to go for him, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
So that leaves the main event, and I have to throw that in quotations because it's come out now, and just in case anyone doesn't know, right? Brock Lesnar has officially retired. He did it on the Pat McAfee show, so he actually didn't do it on WWE TV. He went on a podcast. So assuming we believe him, and wrestlers are known to go back on their retirement, but for now, he is saying he is officially retired. So that was his last match, at least for now. So that does explain a little bit why they did give him the main event, because it was actually his last match. Now, why they didn't advertise it as such is a bit baffling to me, because they were trying to sell tickets and they had a big problem selling tickets. So why not just say this is Brock's last match, win or lose?
Yeah, exactly.
Being kind of, I don't win the tournament, but I get the reward from winning King of the Ring. I get the title shot, and if you beat me, you get my career. So
yeah, there you go.
Could be as simple as that.
See, we can write this shit.
They could have made it, but just add a little bit more sizzle to the steak. But nonetheless, it wasn't advertised. It was rumored, but that's all it was. It wasn't officially mentioned that this is Brock's last retirement match. So they could have sold it as that. They might have shifted a few more tickets. And it might have made a bit more sense why that was the main event. But obviously, it now makes sense in hindsight. That's why they got the main event spot. But the match was not deserving of the main event.
No, it wasn't. Again, it ran 11 minutes, which was the average. Only the 6 women's tag ran shorter. And obviously, Punk Cody ran almost 3 times that.
Yeah. And for a Hell in a Cell match, considering how much that Punk and McIntyre did to bring back the prestige of the Hell in a Cell match itself, right, and making it a brutal match, I think this was very much a pussified, and I'm going to use that word, version of Hell in a Cell. This feud did not warrant a Hell in a Cell, because I don't think it was a blood feud that got to that level. That's one thing. I didn't think it deserved that. And number 2, if you look at the structure of the match, why was that a Hell in a Cell match? Why wasn't that just a no DQ match or a last man standing match or something?
Yeah, exactly. Should have been that, or a street fight, or Force Count Anywhere, anything like that.
Did the cell come into play at all? Did it stop somebody interfering? There was nobody who was going to interfere, really. Brock hasn't got a faction, really, and Femi hasn't got any friends on the roster.
The closest Brock's got is the Vision, really. That's the closest he's got. That's only because of Heyman. Again, Heyman's kind of separated himself. That's the closest you're going to get. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. That the Hell in a Cell is meant to be there to to keep your feud inside the ring and keep everybody else out. No one interfered in that match. No one even attempted to interfere in that match.
Yeah.
I don't remember Femi or Brock running one or the other into the cage or into the cell wall at any point.
There was no reason for it to be Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, he just brought steel steps in, I think, and eventually just ripped the ring mat, pulled up the padding, exposing the wood. I got NXT vibes there when Tommaso Ciampa did that during the Johnny Gargano feud.
Yeah, I remember. So for me, it was more of the same. It wasn't for my credit, I suppose. It wasn't as much the finisher spam that I was fearing it was going to be, because me and Alan have joked, is it going to be 10 this time before he's going to hit in on him? Luckily they actually reduced it, so maybe somebody had a word of him like, you know what, you went a bit far last time. I don't know. So it wasn't the worst. The worst probably when Brock did hit 3 in a row, so they were not spread out like they were in the other match, he did actually hit 3 in quick succession. And
yeah, that's kind of okay, because that's where you think definitively, I'm not going to waste my time trying to try for a pinfall. I'm just going to hit 1, pick him up, hit 2, pick him up, hit 3rd one, and then go for a pin. That's kind of acceptable in my eyes, anyway.
I don't like him kicking out of it, but if it was his last match, I suppose I can accept it a bit more.
Yeah, the F5's become a bit of a joke now. Like I said last week, it's you must have given him a hip toss as a finishing move.
Yeah,
and fucking point, the F5 has got no power anymore.
Yeah, and if anyone in the future ever decides to take that finisher as their own, and I'm sure there will be somebody at some point, then it will need to be rebuilt. So whether or not whoever this person is in the future, decides to throw it a slightly different way, put their own tweak on it, then that's okay. If it ends up just being more of the same, then it's a move in my eyes that needs to be rebuilt. And it won't be Brock's job to rebuild it. It will be whoever decides that they want to, take that finisher on board. So then Brock, after over Femi, and we'll talk quickly about the botched finish. So what was meant to happen is Brock obviously exposes the wood, does a tombstone, which was a nice nod to his breaking the streak with the attack with Undertaker. So I didn't mind that little tribute there.
Yeah, plus you bet Undertaker in Hell in a Cell as well.
Yeah, so he tombstones him. He puts his arms across him, like Undertaker used to do, and then he kicks out. I didn't mind that. I don't mind it as a tribute. And then Brock acts a bit surprised, and then over Femi hits his finisher, and his finisher was meant to be onto the wooden, but he didn't do it onto the wood. He did it onto the ring, and apparently the rumor backstage is that as he was getting Lesnar up, he was concerned he was going to trip, because apparently a bit of the mat was almost in a way, and he had to make a decision. So maybe I won't be too harsh on him. He was trying to obviously protect Brock. He was worried that he was going to drop Brock. That's what the story I've heard is. So he decided the best thing to do was just to do the move rather than to kind of stop the move halfway through, because it would have looked worse. But yeah, so there was a botch, but in hindsight, I'm not going to be too angry at the kid, because if he was worried that he was going to drop Brock and hurt him. So you put the wrestler's safety first. Do you know what I mean? It's unfortunate because obviously it did look it looked a little tame, because in the end it was just one normal finisher in a series or a feud where everyone's been kicking out of everything. That's what I mean. If this was a feud when people weren't kicking out of finishes, I'd feel differently about it. But this has been a feud where we've seen that people are just kicking out of everything. So that's why it was kind of like almost anticlimactic, because I think people expected a kick out. I did.
Yeah, so was I.
If he would have hit him on the wood, I would have been less likely to expect it to kick out, because that looked much more definitive. Oh, he's blasted him with his finisher onto the the non-protected part. So that would be a valid finish. But because he didn't want to hurt him, that's a story going around. It ended up being just a normal finish. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's quite surprising. He just hit it and then won. I thought, oh, okay.
So a botch by Obafemi, but like I say, I'm not going to be too critical on him, because if that story is true, and we can assume that it is, he was concerned about hurting Brock, so he decided to just drop him on the safe part of the mat. So, anything else, Al, you want to add about night one? Before we
other than the fact that on paper it seemed like a really good show, but when I watched it, I was like, this is actually weak. The matches were just very, very average. Very average. I mean, yeah, Cody Punk, that stuck out. That was the best match of the card. And night one should have just ruled, because we spoke about this last week, saying, oh yeah, I can't watch night 2 live because I've got to work the next morning. And then you said to me, well, you're lucky because night 1 looks the best show.
Well, yeah, the low did it better. Yeah.
And it just wasn't. It's a shame. It wasn't the best show.
No, it felt a bit timid to me. Timid's the word I'm going to use. It felt like that nothing of that much importance happened. We had two 6-man tags, which you don't normally get. So we had 2 6-man tags. The women's title match, I suppose, like I say, was acceptable. The world title match is the first match in a long feud. Now, I don't think Cody and Punk are going to wrestle each other next month, but they will come back to this. I don't know if it'll be at WrestleMania. If they easily could drag it out that long, I could see that the rematch will be at WrestleMania next year, because they're going to have. I'm not sure what other match they could put on the SmackDown roster, at least, that's going to be probably bigger than that. Maybe Orton.
Orton, Punk, maybe.
And Cody, triple threat or something. I mean, maybe they'll do something like that. But so it's the first match in what I would imagine is going to be at least 2 matches, if not maybe 3, between Punk and Cody. So Punk won the first one. I'd imagine Cody's going to win the next one. Will that be for the belt? Well, yeah, it could be. And then there'll be a third match. So I can see that feud going to WrestleMania. But in the meantime, Cody's going to go and do his own thing with Orton, and Punk's going to go and do his own thing with the person we're going to be talking about any minute. So night 2 opens up, and the opening contest for night 2 was supposedly meant to be Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. What's got lost in the shuffle, Al, that I'll talk about in a sec, is that the unfairness on Finn Balor, who has been completely forgotten about.
True, yeah, yes.
Because Finn Balor won the number 1 contender fatal 4-way to get into this match, and he thought that he had a singles opportunity, right? So he had a 50% chance of getting the title shot, which he earned.
Yeah, fair and square.
Fair and square. And Sami Zayn obviously felt the same way, but Sami Zayn's character is kind of like, oh, you guys keep on doing these unfair things to him. And then Nick Aldis completely making Sami Zayn look completely in the right, which is funny to me, brings out Gunter, and then turns it into a fatal 4-way at the last minute and brings out the returning Kevin Owens, who got a massive ovation. He's been gone for a year and a half. Babyface, I mean, he was a heel when he left, if people don't remember. So that's what happens. He comes back. So he's a babyface now. And the camera focuses in on Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn's losing his shit, which is his character, right? But I couldn't help thinking to myself, poor Finn Balor, who legitimately qualified for this and is being really screwed over in this match.
Proper screwed.
And then is significantly the forgotten man in the match, because nobody cares about Finn Balor in this match. All the attention is on, obviously, Gunter, and especially Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, obviously, because of their long-time friendship. So the match is pretty much all about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Finn Balor might as well not be there, Al. Gunter also could have easily not been there, but Finn Balor in particular might as well not bother putting him there. He might as well not bother flying across.
Yeah, there's no point at all. No point at all.
So, and on this channel we've got obviously Kev, who's a big fan of Finn Balor. I mean, Kev's not here right now, but I'm sure Kev was very upset.
Yeah, I would be.
To see what happened to his boy Finn Balor.
Yeah. I'm going to rant for a second. I'm going to quickly step away. Sorry, everybody. Be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so the end is Kevin Owens has a big kind of hockey fight brawl with Sami Zayn at the end, and Kevin Owens hits his finisher, the Stone Cold Stunner. 1, 2, 3, completely clean. So Kevin Owens is your new number 1 contender, and will face CM Punk at some point. Maybe WrestlePalooza, I think, is the next. No, I think it's Money in the Bank, I think, is next. And then WrestlePalooza, I think, comes in after that. So it looks like we are finally going to be getting the CM Punk Kevin Owens feud that I know a lot of people have been wondering if they would ever see. And it looks like that's going to be happening over on SmackDown for the world title. Interestingly enough, they're both going to be babyfaces again. So we find ourselves again with a massive heel problem. There are not enough bad guys on these shows. And the fans just seem to want to cheer everybody. So I've said before in our shows that I actually hold the fans partly responsible for this, because the fans don't seem to be able to determine what is meant to be heroic and what is not meant to be heroic. Yeah, they seem to think that acting arrogantly and stuff like that is an act of heroism. The Roman Reigns character is a prime example of a character who is incredibly arrogant and quite dislikable, yet is perceived to be heroic. I guess it's all about perception. Maybe as an older gentleman, my perception of what heroism is maybe very different to what younger generation thinks it is. But I still am very adamant that there is not enough true heels, bad guys, villains who do nasty things. I want to see villains being villains. I want to see bad guys doing bad things. And I don't think we've got enough of that. We've got too many of these kind of like diet villains, just 1 calorie. Diet heels.
Diet heels.
Diet heels who don't particularly do anything that bad. They might slag off the fans a little bit and say, "Oh, you fans suck." Okay, but they actually don't do anything that heinous. Who's the biggest heel? Who's the biggest heel who acts like a bad guy? What, Gunter?
Yeah, close. Yeah. Gunter's probably the biggest heel they have.
Maybe. But Gunter doesn't even cheat.
Okay, yeah, I know the biggest heel is. Plain sight, Roman Reigns.
Well, not if you ask the fans. The fans consider him heroic. As I was just out, I can't explain it, but the fans consider him heroic. So anyway, as I was saying, it's going to be Kevin Owens versus CM Punk out. But again, it's another babyface versus babyface thing. Again.
They've got no options. They've run out of options. They don't know how to make a heel these days. They really don't. Yeah, the closest thing I can think to a heel right now is Gunter, Bron Breakker, and Austin Theory.
And Gunter had his title shot, so he's not getting another one for a little while. I don't see how he gets a title shot for a little while. He's lost too many opportunities now. Austin Theory is a tag champion and should be nowhere near a main title. And Bron Breakker, well, we'll speak about him a little bit on Raw, but still a long way away from recapturing where he was at the start of the year. How did you feel about the Kevin Owens return, Alan? And how did you feel about the result? Sami Zayn loses again, so that continues that character.
Exactly. I mean, I've read a little report that's to say that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were both in town that weekend, and I thought, okay, yeah. well, I can see Randy. I don't know where Randy was going to fit in. I don't know, naive me. Wow, where could Randy Orton fit into this? Obviously, he fit into the Cody Rhodes thing. That's the last thing he did, obviously. And then I was thinking, well, Kevin Owens. I can't see Kevin Owens getting into a match or anything. I really can't. I mean, the guy had neck surgery, not too dissimilar to what Big E had. So I couldn't see him getting back in the ring, to be honest. So I was surprised when I saw WWE ruin it for me and hitting a stunner and pinning Sami Zayn. I mean, yeah, he's obviously cleared to go, so yeah, props to him. He's fought on that long road to get back to the long road to recovery. And well done, Kevin Owens.
Quickly, Cooper says in the chat, I saw this earlier, but I've just remembered to bring it up. He goes, yeah, it's a bit of a wind-up for Alan, but also true. I think that EO was really good, more exciting than the rest of the card, in my opinion. Cooper is a big fan of EO Sky. Because she's got such a great wrestler. Is that right, Cooper? Or because I think she's pretty. I don't think she's as hot as Kairi. She's not as hot as Kairi Sane, but she's...
Yeah, Kairi Sane's better, yeah.
She's not an unattractive lady. Right, so that was a big surprise return for night 2. Kevin Owens wins the Fatal 4-Way to face CM Punk. We don't know when. Maybe Money in the Bank's the next one, so that would make sense, I suppose. Be interesting to see the crowd reactions on that, because I don't think they want to boo either, man, but we'll have to see. Okay, so the first of 3 title matches. For the US title, Baron Corbin versus Trick Williams.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I did think it would be a bit silly to have Corbin come in and lose, but I also know how much they value Trick for some reason. And Corbin did cheat. I love the fact he knocked little Yachty, whatever his name is, through the table. You need to do that more often.
Well, yeah. He little Yachty sort of slid across the top of the table, didn't he? And just tipped it over.
What do you expect, Hal?
But yeah, that was fun. I would have to see him take an end of days. Although I was also surprised that Little Yachty just didn't get up straight away like he did last time.
Yeah, so somebody taught him and told him, you actually have to sell something, mate.
Yeah, you've gone through a table, so stay down.
Corbin hits him with the belt, then hits his finisher, kind of.
The end of days, yeah. And it's
Um,
never
and-
looked better. He knows how
No.
to hit that move. And Trick, to his credit, took it well.
Yep, it looked good. Only one finisher. There you go. Just one finisher. Didn't need loads. One finisher, 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams' first loss, I think, on the main roster. It's certainly his first pinfall loss. I think he might have lost the tag match or so, but it's certainly his first pinfall loss. That I can remember at least. And he loses US title. Now, I assume, again, this feud will probably continue. I'm assuming he'll probably get the belt back at some point. I don't see Baron as a long-reigning US champion. But there's been rumors, and again, there are always rumors, that this part is not a surprise to me, but management is very high on Trick Williams, which is not a surprise. I could already tell that by how they've been booking him. And with a certain ladder match at the next pay-per-view, PLE, good chance he's one of the favourites to win the Money in the Bank. So maybe he won't get the US title back. Maybe they're going to move him up the card. I don't think he's ready for it. I see no evidence that he should be at the top of the card at all.
Yeah, he's not ready for it.
But one of the early favourites, and like I say, a little bit of a spoiler backstage, apparently that was the plan. Whether or not, we all know that plans change, but so maybe he doesn't get the US title. Maybe this is just a way to just move him away from the US belt. Maybe Corbin will have a longer reign than I think he will. And Trick Williams will go on to qualify for Money in the Bank. And I suppose then he'll be running around with a briefcase, I suppose, if he wins it.
Yeah, he's got furrow over it like he had the title.
He will do that. You know he will do that if he wins it. Next match, again, a bit of this one was a surprise result because I probably would have said that the person who won this was maybe the least likely. So Chelsea Green won.
Yeah, I said this, didn't I?
Yeah. Almost out of nowhere, when you consider some of the egos. Did I say egos? You consider some of the wrestlers she's in the ring with. Chelsea Green defeated Charlotte Flair, Lash Legend, Tiffany Stratton, and Alan's favourite, Jade Cargill.
Because she's that bitch.
Because she's that bitch. She wasn't that bitch on this night, apparently.
Well, that's why she lost, because she's that bitch.
Yeah. Now, it is for the title, but it's not for the title. So let's say all the Chelsea Green fans, I quite like her. She's my favourite of this 5 anyway. So I don't mind her. Mainly due to her match with Penta. That's still where she holds the value for me because I was very impressed with her performance in that. So she's not actually she's not actually the champion. So before people get too excited that this is going to be a change in ways in her fortunes, she could easily just come back and get destroyed by Rhea Ripley, and that'll be that. Whenever they have this, whenever Rhea's ready to come back, because she's only technically the interim. Alan, how do you feel about this whole interim stuff? They do this in boxing all the time. They do this in UFC all the time. I've understood it to a certain degree, but I've understood it when it's a real sport and you can throw your theories about how rigged boxing is and how rigged UFC is. And I hear you, by the way, on that. But at least it's meant to be presented as it being real. Everybody knows in the modern era that wrestling's fake. So they just strip the person, right? It's fake. It's not real. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about the interim stuff being inserted into professional.
No, it's not necessary. You know, she's been injured. You strip her. You create a new champion, and then when injured wrestler is rehabilitated and comes back, they're first in line. Simple. That's how it's always been, isn't it?
That's how it was for Seth Rollins. He had to vacate the title last year. So,
very true.
Why is this rule all of a sudden appeared? I don't know. Probably because TKO are in charge. They've obviously UFC, so they think we'll bring this in. Yeah, I don't know. Rhea Ripley hasn't defended her belt since she won it, I think, as well.
Another one.
If she has defended it, it's maybe a couple of times, maybe, but certainly not in the last couple of months. Well beyond this 30-day rule, which we now know doesn't exist, and we can all thank Brock Lesnar as the original culprit for that, and then joined by Roman Reigns. Once Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns didn't have to defend their belts anymore, it was fair game after that because now nobody has to anymore. So again, me and Alan are traditionalists. We grew up in a certain time, and they just seem to want to change all the rules. They've got no respect for tradition, but that's a whole big different other thing. Anything else you want to say, Alan? About? I mean, you called it. Good shout. I thought for sure it was going to be Charlotte, despite me dreading it. But...
Yeah, I mean, my logic behind it was that Jade and Charlotte are locked in some sort of feud, which doesn't need to be for the title. And I was right. It doesn't have to be for the title.
It's hard for me to not think Charlotte's not going to win every title match she's in.
Yeah, of course. It's hard to look past it, really. I mean, Lash Legend didn't really factor in. Tiffany Stratton's already the US champion. Doesn't really need another belt. So yeah, I thought Chelsea Green is going to be the logical choice. And actually, logic won the day.
I have a confession to make now. I fell asleep.
Not surprised.
So I fell asleep near the end of this match. Right, so I didn't actually see the end. I have gone back and seen it when she's like where Chelsea Green's like unconscious for a lot of the end, and she just kind of wakes up and just kind of grabs the belt. So I have gone back to watch the ending of that match, but I was asleep for the next match, and I have not bothered to go back to watch it because I have no interest in it. So I actually cannot comment on the next match that we'll talk about, which is Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. Human money's on a pole. I was asleep for all of this. I know who won, but I don't know how, and I have not bothered to go back.
Well, this is where I kind of came in, because obviously I'd meant to set my alarm, and I just slept through. And by the time I got in at about an hour and 40 in, I was already 3 matches gone, and I was into the last few minutes of this match. Obviously the Minihausens involved themselves. JD McDonough came down. Prop to JD McDonough. He picked up one of the Minihausens and body slammed him with impact. And I've never seen the body slam done so hard in a long time. And then he grabs another Minihausen with a choke slam, and again, impact.
Flashback to Bundy versus Little Beaver at WrestleMania 3.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I thought, wow, that little person, he really got owned by JD McDonough. Picked him up above his head, scoop slammed him proper to the mat. And I thought, wow. I said that, and when that's a highlight of a match, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
What does that tell you? And then Joe Hendry comes down, chases puts down Jay McDonough, if you like. Dominic Mysterio climbs to the top for the pole to grab the human monies. Danhausen curses him, sets off a pyrotechnic, or a bit of pyro, if you like.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dom falls to the mat, and he claims, Danhausen claims the monies, and starts giving it away to the crowd because it's actually not real money. Obviously, it's this fake Danhausen money.
So what I want people to do is when someone next suggests to me that Dominic Mysterio should be a main eventer, right? I want people to remember this match. Next time you think that Dominic Mysterio should be taken seriously and should be high up the card. Yep. And I don't hate Dominic Mysterio, right? But stuff like this is going to do him no favors.
I think he realized this because people pointed out that he didn't come out with the Mega Championship.
Yeah.
He was wearing old gear from like some PLEs ago.
So he half-assed it.
Yeah, he half-assed it. Everyone says he knew he was in a comedy match, and he just couldn't be bothered. So no Mega Championship, no new ring gear for a brand new PLE, or one of the big four, if you like. So yeah, he completely half-assed it. Completely he looked dejected in that match.
So what? Yeah, I mean, I would be too. A year ago, I was meant to be like the next upcoming heel. Maybe not quite as high up as like Bron Breakker, but it was like, Bron Breakker is like the big one, and then like underneath, and Dominic Mysterio is also going to be. He's going to have such a good 2026. He was the IC champion going into 2026. He beat John Cena at Survivor Series. So you can say he had a bit of momentum. Lost the belt to Penta, which is okay. I'm not saying he can't lose a match. Had done not much since. Yeah, he's a AAA. What is it?
Mega champion.
Mega champion. And I know that he was involved with an angle on their latest show where he turned on Mexican Grandian Kaiser, as I call him.
Okay. Well, there was silver linings here because people pointed out, like, to go back to the Corbin match, they're thinking, why is Corbin getting a US title match? Why has he won it? And then people commented that he went through years of shit. When he got to the main roster, what was he doing? He was Constable Corbin for a spell. Okay, he had a good run as King Corbin because he still maintained some of that lone wolf persona he had. But then he went through the whole Happy Corbin thing. So he put up for a lot of shit. Baron Corbin, and he was a company man. You tell him to do something, he'll do it. He's quite happy to do it, no problem. And him winning the US title at Summerslam, one of the big 4 events, was a good reward for him. Well done for putting up all the shit we put you through. So there you go. And Dominic Mysterio is going to be no different. Yeah, we put you into a comedy match or a comedy feud with Danhausen. You get executed and cursed, and having pyrotechnics blow under you and stuff like that. He will be rewarded eventually.
Well, I won't say that they can't come back from this. I remember a couple of years ago, I'm sure you do, Alan, when Sami Zayn, who went on to become the world champion, fought Jackass guy.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville.
That's it. And I remember the spot with the gigantic hand. And I remember watching that, thinking to myself, Sami Zayn deserves so much better. And then Sami Zayn lost that match. So I thought it was more or less over for Sami Zayn. And then he ended up then doing the Bloodline, which kind of revitalized his career because he ended up joining the Bloodline. He became really popular, had a very good feud with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline stuff. When the Bloodline story was at its best is when Sami Zayn was there. Make no mistake about that. Without Sami Zayn, people think that Bloodline stuff was as good as they think. No, not at all. It wasn't Roman Reigns who made that. Roman Reigns played his part, but you take Sami Zayn out of that group and that storyline, people would be getting a lot bored of that storyline quicker than they did.
Sure.
So we'll have to see if Dominic's now going to have to come back. I don't know how, but I won't be forgetting this in a while. And I didn't even watch it live. I was asleep, which I think was good for me. But up next, Alan, the second title match and another title change when we have Penta dropping his IC title.
Yep.
In about 9 minutes. Not actually that long a match.
No, not a long match. Well, I think we both put Chad Gable to win this one, but I think we both agreed it was going to be like a like a roll up or something, like a quick snatch move. But no, he actually made him tap, and I thought it was surprising. Yeah,
it was clean as a sheet. A tap out. Penta got caught in Chad's ankle lock. Then he kind of grapevined it, which we know when you do that, Alan, it becomes more devastating. That's the rules of wrestling.
Yeah,
Kurt Angle taught us that. He grapevined it, and Penta tapped. But I think that's one of Penta's few losses. I think he's lost a couple, but he hasn't lost much. Certainly his first time, I think he's lost via submission.
It's his first tap out. Yep, and I think he's only been pinned twice before.
Not much. Yeah, he's been pretty protected this year.
Yeah.
Again, a babyface versus babyface match, like I said before, where all the heels, don't know. But it's the right decision. Chad Gable has been chasing the belt for a number of years. They did it in his hometown. I do have something that I'm going to say in a minute about his celebration, which I'm going to which is embarrassing. Which is some of the most cringiest shit I've ever seen, and actually ruined it for me.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I think we might be on the same page. Chad Gable didn't get the reaction I was expecting. Now, I'm not saying the fans didn't care. I'm not saying that, but I don't think I think I expected. I mean, maybe the WWE, of course, this on themselves with all the shit they did at the end of the celebrations anyway. But I expected overall the crowd reaction was a little bit more muted than I think I was expecting. Is that because should it have been a heel? This is again my point when they're doing these babyface things. Shouldn't have Penta, if this was the long-term plan, why didn't Penta drop it to Rusev or to Page?
Yeah, it would have made more sense. But Penta obviously it's been proven he can sell tickets for PLEs. Ethan Page and Rusev are unproven. I mean, on a marquee, Penta versus Chad Gable to me sounds like a more attractive match. It's
a better wrestling match. Yeah, it's a better wrestling match. I I just think if you're going for the kind of conquering hero, then the person he should be conquering should be somebody who I think is hated, rather than also somebody who's also very beloved. But that's the problem I've got when you run too many babyface matches, which is what they've done too much of, especially on this show.
Yeah, true.
Right. Okay then. So he wins it. He brings his family in,
which I thought was quite amusing because his son was dressed up in like a wrestling singlet and stuff.
Yeah, probably.
You noticed that he was like dressed up in wrestling gear. I thought to myself, go on, grab your dad and German suplex him, and then put him in an ankle lock, and then
win the belt. Yeah.
Call a referee down, and then Chad taps in, and his son becomes the new IC champion.
Don't give him ideas, Alan. They'll do that. Don't give him ideas.
They did it with Braun Strowman, didn't they?
Yeah, Nicholas and Braun Strowman tag team champions.
Sorry, carry on. Get to the horrible part of the celebration.
Okay, I'm trying to. In case you guys didn't watch it live, I need to try to describe it for you. Okay, so he's got his family in the ring. He gets a microphone. He says, "My name is Chad Gable. I'm from blah blah blah." It's a little bit of the same thing he said when he had to unmask, right? So it's playing into that. Oh, he had to unmask a couple of months ago, and then he's kind of celebrating. And you see this mascot, I guess, this dude in this furry dog helmet thing, right?
Mask thing, yeah.
And
it's for mug root beer, everybody.
And then he's standing behind Chad. And right, okay, so as a long-time wrestling fan, Alan, answer me this question. I expected him to attack Chad Gable and it to be a heel.
That's the simple thing, isn't it? Yeah.
I thought this was an angle.
Well, we wished it was an angle, but you know what WWE for their advertising. Everything has to be a goddamn advertisement. You can't have a match without something being advertised either on the mat or on the barricades. There's always something being advertised in that goddamn company.
I thought it was a heel. I thought it's going to be Paige. I thought it was going to be Paige.
That would have been better. Yeah, if Paige had done it, that would have been funny.
Just to set up the new feud, right? Just to set up the new feud. But no, this is completely legit. And then he hands Chad, I guess, the root beer, as Alan's saying. And then almost as a callback to when Jerry Lawler had his Mountain Dew, he gulps the thing down like it's the best thing ever. And then at the same time, I got bloody Michael Cole screaming down the headset, "He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him," which is the goddamn brand tagline. And this is Chad Gable's celebration after chasing the IC title for several years. This is the culmination of a several-year storyline, really, when he first turned heel because he couldn't win the IC belt from Gunther. That's why he turned heel originally a couple of years ago, because he kept on failing to win the IC title from Gunther. So he's been chasing this belt, storyline-wise, for 3 years. He wins in his hometown. It's the biggest moment of his wrestling career, really. It's his first singles title. And he's overshadowed by a mascot in the background wanting him to chug root beer while Michael Cole destroys the entire moment by throwing an advertisement and saying, "He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him," as it comes up at the bottom of the screen as the brand logo and the slogan. He's got that dog in him.
Destroyed the moment completely. It's meant to be a really tender moment. A guy chasing this IC title for so long, or a singles title, even any singles title, and he finally got the one. He got the win, and it's just destroyed because some fucking mascot just jumps up on the apron, hands him a couple of root beers, and starts parading around. And then you got Michael Cole, like you said, shouting the slogan at everybody. Just destroyed the moment. WWE need to get away from this goddamn advertising. There's ways to advertise, right? And it's not on air in a match, especially. Do your advertisements, in between. Like the old days. Much around this Savage used to advertise Slim Jims. I don't recall once there being a Savage Slim Jim ad in any of the old pay-per-views. Ever. But these new PLE events, they have to shill something. Whether you get a wrestler coming down in gear modeled from a upcoming film or video game, or you got the ring scrawled with everything on there. That's that you can spend your money on. Or the barricades all lit up. There's always something they have to advertise. And I know Vince always liked a clean mat. That's what he always said. He goes, "I always want a clean mat for my rings." Yeah. And I respect Vince for that, because he didn't sell out to all the corporations, wanting them to advertise everything. I mean, yeah, in Vince's era, yeah, and later on, Attitude Era, and the PG era, he would put like film trailers in. Fine, that's fine, absolutely fine. Obviously, yeah, you had Jerry Lawler sipping on a Mountain Dew, which was the best thing ever. I had a Mountain Dew not long ago, and I couldn't help myself. I had to do a Jerry Lawler.
I hope you did. You should have filmed it.
I did. I should have filmed it. Maybe I'll come on stream next time. When we do another wrestling podcast, I'll be live on stream and I'll have a Mountain Dew on me.
You should do that. Yeah.
No sell, sponsored by Mountain Dew.
I'm going to get some of that root. I'm going to get that root beer imported, Alan, and then I want somebody to, as I drink it, I want somebody down the headset to be shouting, "He's got that dog in him." That's what I want. I will say that I did feel bad for Chad Gable, because look, let's be realistic, right? He knew it was going to happen. Right, Chad Gable. If that was Roman Reigns, I'm just using somebody who's got clout, or if that was Cody Rhodes, or if that was CM Punk or Randy Orton, I would imagine had they said, "Oh yeah, Randy, you're going to chase this world title that you haven't had for he hasn't been world champion in 4 years or something, whatever it is. You're going to finally get you this world title after 4-year chase, and we're going to put this dog behind you as you celebrate your chase, and we're going to have Michael Cole do that." Randy Orton would probably look at him and saying, "The fuck you are. I ain't having my moment ruined. You're joking, right?" Yeah. And he would be able, he's got the clout where they would say, "Okay, we won't do it." Chad Gable, bless him, doesn't have that kind of power. He's not a main event guy. This is his first title. He hasn't, so my point is, he hasn't got the power to say no. I bet if you privately, he ain't going to say anything because he's not an idiot. You privately ask the man, and probably his family privately, "Do you want that bloody dog in the background making a fool of your big moment?" No. No way would he want that. It ruined his moment. He probably will not tell them that, because he doesn't want to get fired and he doesn't want to get in their bad book. So he's not going to say anything because he doesn't want to lose his job. He knows that they're trigger happy as it is, offering 50% cuts. He doesn't want them coming to him doing it. So Chad Gable hasn't got the power to say no. Well, really. So he has to let it happen. But then I think privately, he's probably thinking to himself, "You've kind of butchered my moment here. You've kind of made it a bit of a laughing stock." And it is a laughing stock because I've seen several other channels, not just us, completely ripping this to shreds with all good reason, because it ruined the moment. So I feel bad. I feel bad for him, because I don't think he didn't have to say in it. He didn't have the power to say no. I'd love to have seen the reaction if they would have gone to Randy Orton or CM Punk. I would love to have seen the reaction if they even brought it up to them.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at mug root beer now.
Yeah,
it's actually there on the Google search. You look at mugrootbeer.com. Yeah, and it says, "Got that dog in you."
Yeah, got that dog in you. Before we go to the main event, Kuva's said a bit more in the chat. Sorry, Kuva. I have seen these. It's just finding the right time, because me and Alan love a rant, especially me.
Sorry, Kuva.
So he says that no, she's not as hot as Kairi Sane, agreed, but she's prepared to do a moonsault, which always gets my respect. So Kuva likes, but you didn't like CM Punk's moonsault, Kuva. I respect CM Punk, but not for doing a moonsault. And he also says, Nick Aldis got an amazing reception from fans. Compare that to Chad, it was so noticeable. Although I suppose the Penta match was in Mexico, wasn't it? No, well, the event was in Minnesota. So the event wasn't actually in Mexico, if that's what you're asking, mate. No. But Penta is a luchador, yeah. But like I said, they are both good guys, so it's always going to be a bit of a... They put Nick Aldis in there with a hated heel in Gunter, so that was easy. But with Chad, they put him in there with another kind of beloved babyface, so it was always going to be a bit of a harder... It was always going to be a bit harder for people to root for him. They did cheer him, but it was always going to be a bit more split than it would be for Aldis versus Gunter, if you get me. Because Gunter's one of the few heels who's actually trying to be a heel, which is rare. Right, so the so-called biggest match that they felt that they had, a match that has happened, I've lost count. I'm sure there's some nerd who's got a number of this on the amount of times Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, apparently they haven't faced each other since like 2022 or something.
Royal Rumble was the last time, yeah. But they also were in the WrestleMania main event in a tag match. So even though not just singles matches, the amount of
plus the triple threat, CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Exactly. So they've fought in 2 WrestleMania main events over the past couple of years. They had night 1 the tag match when it was The Rock and Reigns versus Cody and Rollins, and then as Alan said, they also fought in the triple threat with CM Punk. So they've had loads of interactions, loads of matches. So it's very difficult to get hyped for this. I do respect the long-term storytelling, and there is a lot there. The Shield were a big deal. If there's any fans watching now who weren't around then, they were a big deal at the time. I don't think they're the greatest faction of all time. I think that's a bit overblown. I don't think they give squads like the NWO are the biggest.
Yeah,
there's no argument easily. And then you've got the 4 Horsemen that I would consider the second biggest. Yeah. I suppose you can say they were WCW creations. So if you want to leave them out and you want to go WWE creations, then I guess it becomes a bit closer. But even so, I wouldn't put them at the top. There you go, Alan. Quick question. WWE only, so you can't include the Horsemen or NWO. Who's the biggest faction?
Biggest faction.
My most legendary faction.
Probably DX, isn't it?
You think DX?
DX. To a lesser extent, the Nexus. They were a decent faction.
Went around long enough, were they? In Nexus.
Yeah, they well.
Cena.
You can thank Cena for that one.
Yep.
Thanks Cena. Thanks for ruining their thunder.
Yep.
Yeah, DX I think is probably the biggest thing that I mean, you've got the old managers stables, the Heenan family.
Yeah. It is difficult to see them as stables. I mean, I suppose you could kind of. And the Heenan family. I mean, Jimmy Hart had a lot of guys under him as well. That sounds wrong. He had a lot of,
As did Slick. Slick had a lot of, a lot of talent.
Yeah. It's difficult to see them as stables, but I suppose they could be considered stables.
Yeah, and then I suppose maybe not as strong. Yeah, obviously the Hart family later on when Brett turned heel.
Hart Foundation were pretty good again. They weren't around long enough, but yeah, they in 1997 they were a big deal in 97. Yeah, definitely. And the Bloodline, despite me despising today's version, which is more or less the same version just with Jacob Fatu, I can admit that for when Sami Zayn joined the group for that year period, for 1 year out of their 4-year reign, I considered that a decent story. But for the rest of it, not for me. But that's me. And certainly this version of it, the babyface version, if you're going to call them that, I think is brutal. The heel version, a little bit more time for, but not in love with it, but more time for.
Yeah, it worked better as a heel stable. Yeah,
because they were heels. Because that's generally there's very few babyface stables in wrestling, and there's a good reason for that. Because you can't if you want to be babyfaces, you've got to be you can't be having the numbers advantage as a babyface. It goes against just basic storytelling.
Yeah,
so if you're in a group you know what I mean now.
Yeah, you get a friend join in, but to help you fight the numbers, but that doesn't that's it. That's the rule of a babyface. You can get help if you like, but it's the heel's job to have the numbers on you.
Yeah. Most so there's very few really effective good guy stables. There's not many, a couple of them, but most of them are big heel groups as they should be. Anyway, I guess we're getting off topic. So this is apparently the last, but we'll see. But we'll find out in the next couple of years if it really is the last encounter between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I appreciated the nods to the Shield. I appreciated the nods to Dean Ambrose without actually mentioning his name. So there was little nods to the Ambrose. They both ended up going for Dirty Deeds, which is his finisher at the time. I don't think he uses it anymore, but that was his finisher in WWE, Moxley's finisher. Double arm DDT. Cactus Jack's old move. So I appreciated the nods. I did appreciate the kind of callbacks because I was there for the Shield. I did enjoy the Shield for the first version of the Shield. I did enjoy what they were. I remember they had a good match against do you remember the Wyatt family Shield match?
Yep, remember that? Great match. Get a 6-man tag.
Yep. Two heel. The Shield was still kind of heels at the time as well. A rare heel versus heel match, but the fans kind of turned the Shield face. That's kind of when they started becoming faces, more or less during that match.
Yeah.
And then they turned face not long after. So, you know, I have quite fond memories of the Shield. I did like them. So I was into the story for a lot of it. The match was solid enough because Roman Reigns, as I said before, he's not a dreadful wrestler. He's a very good athlete. I have big problems with a lot of other aspects of his ability, but not particularly on the physical side. He doesn't blow loads of spots. The few moves he's got, and he hasn't got many moves, let's be honest, but the moves that he does have, he does well. So he never has what I call train wreck matches. He's solid in the ring. He's no more than solid, but he's solid in the ring. He does have decent psychology when he wants to be, when he wants to have it. And I do quite like his smack talking in the ring. You know, I'm giving Roman Reigns credit for what the stuff that I think he does well. He still comes off this arrogant heel, and that is my problem more than anything else, because he comes across as an arrogant heel that I would never root for in a million years. Nor do I want to root for him because I want him to be a heel, because he acts like a heel. So he shouldn't be a babyface. If he was playing a heel character, I would not be complaining anywhere near as much as I would be. Because I would say he's actually doing a decent job as a heel. But he's not a heel. He's meant to be a babyface. This is where my issues come in. But overall, I thought the match was okay. They did each other's finishes. There were kickouts of their own finishes. Like I say, little nod back to Dean Ambrose and stuff like that. And I can appreciate the ending when the long-term storytelling when Roman had the chair and was going to hit Rollins in the back, just like Rollins did when he broke up the Shield. I can appreciate these long-term stories. There needs to be more of this overall. So it was a nice callback, and then Roman, like I say, I like the storytelling. Roman finally let go of his hatred. That's kind of what it was. It was like a Star Wars thing, Alan. He finally let go of his hatred. He finally got over Seth's betrayal, although it took him this long to finally get closure on Seth betraying him, because he had a chance to whack him with the chair, and he chose not to. So that was the way of them saying, okay, I'm letting it go. I'm finally over it now. Then he hits a big spear and pins him 1-2-3. So I like the storytelling. So I didn't despise this match. The problem is we've seen the match so many times. So we've seen the moves so many times on each other, and we've seen the counters that they've done to each other so many times. I joked with Adam last week, when is Seth going to hit his, Reigns goes for a spear and turned it into a pedigree? Yeah. And they did it.
Yeah, they did. I laughed when they did that. I laughed. Because I knew you called it.
Well, look, yeah, this is what I mean. Because this is what happens when
and it's still shit.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good. And the fact that they shouldn't have gone back to it. They should have been like, you know what? We do this every time we do this. Let's not do it this time. Let's come up with just something else. Let's not just do the same stuff. But they went and did the same stuff. This is what I mean by so I thought the match was generally quite lazy, but the storytelling was good. So, and I've asked for good storytelling over good matches, right? So I'd be hypocritical to say I thought this was bad, because it appealed to me as a fan. I wanted story first, then the move second. So I'm not going to criticize the storytelling of the match. The moves themselves I found a bit boring because I've seen the match too often, but the story was good. But I don't want to see this again. There's no more story to be had. I fear they are going to do more, though, Al. I fear they're going to have Rollins and Reigns team up.
Probably.
That's the point.
Yeah, they probably will.
So,
because obviously Roman's going to be in War Games, isn't he? Because every War Games has to be a Roman Reigns match. So yeah, he'll ask for Seth Rollins to be on his team or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. So I think the story between them probably isn't over. It might be over as them being adversaries, but I can easily see a year from now or something, maybe even sooner, like Alan says, maybe even for War Games, that they do end up kind of not reforming the Shield because there's only two of them, but tagging up and kind of becoming friends, I suppose. Again, I can see them maybe doing that. I think it was a decent match. More for the story. The story I'd probably give an 8 out of 10. The match I'd probably give a 6 out of 10. So I guess I'll say 7. That's the medium ground. I'll say 7 for the match.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll give it.
Anything you want to add about the main event, and then we'll give our general ratings for the show.
I did like the little thing at the end. The mask was meant to represent Dean Ambrose, and if you put it between them, they do like the shield sort of fist bump, if you like. Yeah, it was a cool little moment. But you know, I wasn't excited for this match at all.
No,
I really wasn't excited for it because I knew Roman was going to win because they kept saying it all this time. Oh yeah, he can't, you can't beat me and all that shit. And I thought to myself, well, now you said that, you're not winning now, are you? You've just given away. You pretty much just told us you're not winning because we all figured it out. So that's why I'm generally not excited to see a Roman Reigns match because I know he's going to win. It's back to John Cena for 2007, 2008, 2009, whatever it was. Cena kept winning every goddamn match.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier on, Alan, and since Roman Reigns became the tribal chief character, right? So we're going back to the pandemic era. How many times do you think he's been pinned? So we're 2026 now, right? So that's
about 3 times, isn't it?
It is exactly 3 times.
There you go. Boom. Get in. Yeah, Jey Uso pinned him. Cody pinned him.
Yeah.
And Seth pinned him.
Nope.
Oh, Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Yep. Yep. Those are the 3 pinfall losses that Roman Reigns has had since he became the tribal chief character. He's lost a couple of matches via DQ. He lost to Seth via DQ at the Royal Rumble. He lost to Xavier Woods. Don't ask me why that one happened. He lost to Xavier Woods on a SmackDown by DQ. But pinfall losses 3 times.
Actually, that's 4. Actually, didn't Seth pin him at the WrestleMania event?
You're right. I forgot about that
4.
one.
Yeah, it's actually 4.
Okay,
Seth Rollins pinned him after you low blowed him.
I stand corrected. I actually forgot about that. Yes. 4. Okay. Alan defending Roman Reigns. No, I actually forgot about that. Okay, still 4 out of 6 for 4 times in 6 years. Still not great. But yeah, okay. So not quite as bad then. I forgot about that pinfall loss to Rollins. Yes. Right. Yeah. Okay, so 4 times. Okay, not quite as bad as I originally thought.
That equals one a year.
But one every year and a half.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's still somebody who has been very, very protected. More protected than I think anyone else. I'm trying to think in the last 6 years who's been pinned less than him.
In such a long period, probably nobody. Even Hogan's probably one that comes close.
Yeah, Hogan in his initial WWE title win from '84 till when did Warrior beat him? 90. So that's a 6. There you go. So that is a similar. That's a similar. So he lost to the Warrior.
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? I don't think he lost to anybody else.
He technically was pinned by Andre, but it was complete fuckery. But in the record books, it says he was pinned, so I will count that, even though it was fuckery. So he lost. He was pinned twice. He was pinned twice. One of them with a massive asterisk over it. So he was pinned twice. He lost several by count out. He lost to Randy Savage quite a lot by count out on the house shows, of course. Never allowed him to beat him on TV. But pinfalls, Hogan was pinned twice. There you go. There you go, Roman. You're not quite as selfish as Hogan was. Then again, think how many pay-per-views Reigns has been in and how many pay-per-views Hogan has been in during that period. There was only 4 pay-per-views a year.
That's true.
There was only 2 to start. The first couple of years, there wasn't any. 1984, there wasn't any.
No, there's no. Mania was until 85, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, if you think about that as well, that needs to be taken into account. But yeah. So anyway, it was just a way of saying, do we expect Roman to ever lose matches? Not really. Not really. Rarely. But yeah, I forgot about the Seth one. Yeah. the triple threat, and Heyman turns on him. I completely forgot about that one. So I was in my mind it was 3, but it's actually 4. Yeah.
It's only because I was recently replaying the 2K26 showcase to get my save data back, and that scene came up, and I thought, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sweet, yeah. I completely forgot about it. Yeah. So that was SummerSlam anyway. So my general show rating, I thought the 2 world title matches were the 2 best matches of the show. Kuvan might disagree. I think he liked the women's match, but I think the 2 best matches were the 2. And I suppose if you look at it from that point of view, that you want your 2 biggest matches to be your 2 best matches. So I suppose from that vantage point, that was the right result. I'm probably going to go with a 6.
I will agree. I think 6 is fair. I think, you know, with average run times of matches at 11 minutes. I don't know what the run time was on Seth and Roman. I think that probably went for about 25.
It was long. Yeah, it was long. Nearly 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think 6 is fair. I mean, I can pick out various little highlights for the whole show. Yeah, JD body slamming the little person. That was hilarious. So do check that out. Just the impact, please. Just watch the impact of that slam. It's like ferocity in that body slam. Yep. Trick Williams getting pinned from the end of days by Baron Corbin. Nice. I quite enjoyed that.
Yep.
Kevin Owens coming back, also good. The RKO on Cody from Randy Orton was very good. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. Oh yeah, sorry. And Jey Uso taking the BFT from LA Knight and getting pinned. You know, getting folded like a cheap card table. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I think it was quite an average show. Is average good enough for SummerSlam? A 2-night SummerSlam, should average be good enough? Probably not.
No. And considering when you're missing certain people off the roster, you know, the Vision weren't even on the show, so Bron Breakker wasn't even on the show. You know, a chance to bring Bronson Reed back on a big event, because I know he's very, very close to returning. So it's kind of a missed opportunity, I think.
I think Bronson Reed is going to be set up as Roman's challenger after LA Knight, because I think they're going to play the whole, the last person who pinned Roman Reigns is Bronson Reed, and I think they might.
Yeah, not be surprised.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly move on. It is 9 o'clock, so we'll quickly go through Raw. So Raw this week felt to me, Al, that it was a bit of a reset button.
Yes, I was going to say that. There's a bit of a reset going on. So Bron Breakker's gone back to being the badass we all know he is.
It's good.
Now, Dominic Mysterio's back in the IC title picture. So go. He got rewarded for all the stupid shit he's gone through for the last month and a half with Danhausen. LA Knight's back in the main event picture because obviously, you know, he can do it. He can run a main event spot. The crowd are always behind him. I mean, if you watch the segment between him and Roman, the fans are still clearly behind him.
Oh, I got something to say on that segment in a sec.
Okay. Jacob Fatu, yeah, he's another one who's been quite neutered recently, but he's now come back. So yeah, like you said, reset button.
So yeah,
they're also reading. I think they're reading comments. They must be.
They have their people doing their research. Yeah,
and taking them on board.
They brought Big Kaz debuted or re-debuted as a heel without Enzo. So that rumor was half right, that Kaz obviously was back, but it doesn't look like, number one, he's not back as kind of a baby face with Enzo, which is what I thought. A lot of people assumed he was going to be coming back in the tag team with Enzo to kind of refresh their dying, and it is dying, tag team division as baby faces. Yeah. But apparently not. Apparently he's back by himself as a heel.
Yeah.
And he attacks the young'un, Alan's favourite.
Yep, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so did I.
Yep, and hit him with the East River Crossing. Loved it.
So Big Kaz is back, so that's somebody new. The women's division, as we hinted on before, Liv Morgan badly needs some challenges, and she's gone from having none to having two. So Becky Lynch came back as a baby face. Again, she was a heel. She's come back as a baby face. No real reason given. She just came out and started talking trash about Liv Morgan.
Who needs reasons for changing, your allegiance. Ask Kane.
Yeah, Kane and Big Show. They changed allegiances as often as they did underwear.
Yeah.
So Becky's a babyface. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know. We saw her a couple of months ago when she dropped the IC belt to. God, this is how little some of these women. Sol Ruka means, yeah. And then she left. She wasn't heard from again. She's come back. She's a babyface. I guess Becky Lynch is in that position where because obviously she is a big star, or certainly used to be, depending on your perspective, that I guess she's got the freedom to just. She's at that level, I suppose, where she's kind of legendary status now because she's one of the older women there now, especially in how long she's actually been on the roster. Her and Charlotte have probably been there the longest, probably, and Natalia. So she's in that kind of position where I guess she can kind of be anything she wants to be. If it probably depends on who she's talking bad about. If she's talking bad about a babyface, she's a heel. She's talking bad about a heel, she's a babyface. And she came out and started talking bad about the heel, so she becomes a babyface by proxy, and she's a babyface.
Yeah. They just realised that they haven't got any faces.
Well, they haven't. Well, the Judgment Day are all heels. So.
Yeah, Bailey's gone. They turned Lyra Valkyria heel.
Yep.
They got Jade and her baddies. Alexa Bliss is on the shelf.
Yep.
That could be kayfabe, but I reckon it is kayfabe. And who you got? He's got Charlotte Flair.
And then someone else came back, which is the Dark Angel. She came back. That one's through injury, so that one isn't bad booking. That was she was injured. Vakir was injured, so she's come back to rekindle. It's certainly not a feud I wanted rekindled. I didn't think much of it the first time. She obviously dropped the title to live at WrestleMania, so they've just gone right back to it as soon as she was medically cleared. They've just gone right back to it. So I'm not actually that interested in that. I'm interested in seeing Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan because they probably might be able to do something together. Becky Lynch had a couple of good lines when she said about she's not the best champion even in her stable, obviously trying to sow dissension between her and Rodriguez. And then a good line when she referenced Rhea Ripley by saying, "You're not even the best women's champion who slept with Dominic Mysterio," which was quite a nice line to add about Rhea Ripley as well. So I thought Becky Lynch had some okay material. I quite like Becky on the mic. I've said it before. She can go over the top sometimes, and she can get cringe. She does have that ability to sometimes get cringe. But I got time for her, as I said before, because at least when she was a heel, she was trying to be a heel. So that's what I mean. I've got time for her because I think she's got that kind of old school mentality where she doesn't mind getting booed. I wish more of them had this. But
if only.
Anything you want to say about that, Al? I'm trying to think what else we can talk about on the show.
Big Cass came back, yeah. So yeah.
How do you feel about Obafemi's direction? So I don't agree with this. A lot of people have gotten excited, and I think you alluded to it as well. And there's a reason why I've got a problem with it. Not a problem with them trying to reheat Bron Breakker. I've got no problem with that. My problem is he ain't going to beat Obafemi.
No, of course he's not.
So I don't want him to lose another feud.
He's marching to his doom.
Yeah.
Again.
So I've got no problem with them putting an emphasis on Bron Breakker. No problem. I want him to be this badass. I did enjoy him destroying Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry is a bum to me. Sorry, he is. So I enjoyed that more than I probably should have, if I'm honest. For me, it was almost like getting revenge for that brutal segment he had with Danhausen. If Bron Breakker could face Danhausen next week and do the same thing, I will love it. Just not because I hate Danhausen, right? And I don't even hate Joe Hendry. I do think he's a bit of a bum, but I don't hate him. I just think he's boring. I want to see Bron Breakker destroy Danhausen like he did Joe Hendry. I want to see that, please.
I think Danhausen is quite well protected because of all the products, all the sales he makes in the t-shirts and merchandise and all that.
Yeah, he is. So my only issue with this out is that Bron Breakker needs to win a feud. He lost the feud to Seth Rollins. He's now. I don't care about this vision crap. Just get him away from Austin Theory, right? Let Austin Theory be the douchebag with the hot girlfriend. That's fine. Let him have that character. Get Bron Breakker away from him though. Get Bron Breakker away from the vision ASAP. But I'm happy to see them having more emphasis on him. But I'm not happy, as you put so incredibly well, to see him march into his doom, because he will not defeat Obafemi.
No, not all out anyway. If it's like a Brock Lesnar thing where they have like 3 matches, he'll win 1.
I don't even know if they're going to have him do that. It's painfully obvious now to anyone who's been following wrestling and know how they do these things. The main event of next year's WrestleMania is Roman Reigns versus Obafemi. I don't think there's any. I will be shocked unless there's an injury. I will be shocked if that is not your main event. Everything is 100% pointing to it. The only thing that could maybe scupper it is if The Rock decides that he wants to wrestle another match. That could scupper it. That's all.
Yeah, but I think Brock's actually done. I really think he's done.
No, I mean Rock.
Oh, The Rock. Sorry.
The
Sorry.
Rock. The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock.
If The Rock wants that match with Reigns and the Saudis want to pay him, which they probably would, that's the only thing that stops.
That's the only place. That's the only place Rock is going to wrestle his last match. It'd be the set before Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So the new owners of EA, by the way, everybody out there.
We'll have to talk about that on the play pouch about that one.
That's it. So yeah, that's the only place Rock is gonna have a match. We'll be at WrestleMania next year.
So do you think then, Al, that they're going to have Obafemi lose another match between now and WrestleMania? Because I don't.
If it is, it's going to be to Bron Breakker.
Okay.
It'll obviously be a screw finish. Obviously, he won't be beaten clean. I know that. But yeah, I can't see him being beaten between now and Mania next year.
I don't think either Roman or Obafemi gets pinned between now and WrestleMania. I don't think either one of them loses a match.
He hasn't even decided who he's facing. He said he's ready for a championship. But obviously, we all know Owens is going for Punk because he's the number 1 contender for that. Roman's got, I suppose, LA Knight would be the person who faces him next. Sorry, LA Knight. Another one is marching to his doom.
Oh, God, yeah. Got no chance.
That's what I hate about certain people being champions is that they won't put over anybody.
Nope.
So when I see people on the roster who deserve a title reign, and I think LA Knight does deserve a world title match and a world title reign, a run. He definitely deserves a run at it.
He deserves a run. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it's for a few months, give him a run. People like Roman Reigns don't need a title. He didn't need the Rumble win either, and I'll take that to my grave. Roman Reigns did not need to win that Rumble.
Of course.
When he announced himself for it, and I thought, he's going to win, isn't he? I thought, fuck's sake. And my interest in the Rumble just died as soon as he said, I'm in it. I thought, well, yeah, you're going to win this, aren't you? You're also going to win it.
Do you think... See, I think Bron Breakker will put up a fight, but he will lose to Obafemi. And my theory is I don't know where Bron Breakker goes. Unless they turn it... I think there's a chance... I think there's a face turn in his future. I think I can see him feuding with the Vision. Logan, I think they need to wait. They need to wait for Logan Paul to come back.
Yeah,
and then they need to decide if Bronson Reed is either going to go off by himself or not. If Bronson Reed does come back as a Vision member, that even gives me more reason to think that Breakker will turn face, because I do think they are going to run a Breakker versus Bronson Reed. That could be a WrestleMania match next year for those two, because I think that's something they're going to want to do.
Fair shot.
So that would depend on what they do with Bronson Reed. I think Breakker should be facing somebody else. I like what they're doing. I think they should be targeting somebody else. I know Obafemi needs something to do, but I just don't think this is the right guy, because I don't want to see Breakker. I don't want to see Breakker lose either for a while. I don't want to see him lose to Obafemi. I don't. I won't be happy about it, because I think Breakker, because he's going to lose to the guy who's taken his spot. And I know that's kind of the storyline they're going to go with anyway. You can tell that's the kind of story they're
Yeah,
going to run.
that's sort of set in stone, isn't it?
Yeah, Open Feminist clipped him. Yeah. The last thing I'm going to say about the actual show, and then it's up to you, Al, if you want to talk about anything else, is I can't help but again look at the Roman Reigns character, and I keep getting more and more evidence of this, and I keep getting so frustrated because I keep feeling it, and he keeps doing things that make me despise not the man in real life, because I don't know the man in real life, right? But despise the character he is portraying onto. I despise his character. I have a hatred for his character that I would for a proper heel, right? And I can give you a couple of reasons why. Right, firstly, so he comes out, he's arrogant as he normally is, calls his shots, blah 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 blah. LA Knight comes out. LA Knight cuts a good promo, and the whole time Reigns is not taking him seriously. Reigns is no selling what he's saying. He's almost giggling at him, not taking him seriously. He's giggling at him. He's downplaying everything he's saying in a very arrogant, condescending way. He's meant to be He's meant to be a babyface, and
supposedly,
yeah. And then after LA Knight says everything, what is Roman Reigns' rebuttal? Oh, you're not a megastar because you have a cheap watch. Unlike me, who's got this really expensive watch. Do you want to know how much that watch costs? The Reigns has got.
How much?
400,000.
Jesus Christ. I could buy a house with that.
Yeah, and this is my problem, right? My problem is you've got a guy who's meant to be a good guy bragging to people in the crowd, most of whom could dream of that money only, as you've just said, Alan. You could buy a house. You could buy several houses. You're going to brag to them that you are so rich and wealthy that you can afford to waste £400,000 or dollars, whatever, on a watch, and then show it to people and brag about it, and then condemn the other man who is a babyface because he has a modest watch. And you are the heroic babyface.
Yep.
And your fan base are people who can't even afford to pay the ticket prices. Take into account CM Punk, who before WrestleMania cut a promo on the crowd and told TKO to lower the ticket prices. One of these men is a babyface. One of these men is not. It's not rocket science, you idiot fucking fans, because it's your fault. You are cheering a man bragging about owning a 400,000 watch whilst you struggle to pay your bills. Okay? It makes no sense. He is a villainous heel in every sense of the word. He reminds me of the way Ric Flair was a world champion in NWA, who was a heel. He used to brag about all the women he slept with and all the money he used to waste on stuff. Okay, so I'm sorry, Alan. I am baffled by the decisions that Roman Reigns makes when it comes to wrestling psychology with his character. In the ring, he's okay, especially as a heel. I like the trash talking. I don't mind that. I don't think he has any idea how to be a babyface. He didn't have an idea when Vince was there, and he still doesn't. So when I have to listen to people telling me Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time, I laugh in your face. Because the man he's got no idea what a babyface is. He doesn't know how to. He does not know how to do it.
He's the greatest fraud they have. That's a word LA Knight had for him on Raw. You're a fraud.
Yep.
And the fans don't listen. They don't listen. He's there. I completely agree with you. In plain sight, he's right there, showing off a watch. I mean, I'd love to have I would love to have to be able to spend $400,000 on something so meager as a watch. Not that if I had that kind of money, I would definitely not spend it on a watch, most definitely. But still, $400,000 is a lot of money.
Don't quote me on the $400,000 because it could be $200,000, right? It's a stat that somebody looked up. I watched a show the other week, right? before this promo took place, because Roman Reigns posted something on his Instagram, I forget it, right, of him buying this watch. And it was after Saturday night's main event. He posted an Instagram video of him buying this watch, and it was like it was either 200,000 or it was 400,000.
Still,
and he bragged about it on Instagram, and then he's brought it up in this promo. And he did it after Saturday night's main event in New York, because he bought it from some big expensive watch place in New York.
So go, ladies and gents, debate with us. Is Roman Reigns is he a face? Is he an honourable face? Who'll smile and kiss your babies and slap your hands and stuff? Because obviously you have evidence right here. He's not. He walks into the arena. He takes his title off some guy who's just carrying it. He flashes around a watch worth more money than any one of us have seen in our entire lifetime so far.
I think the character he's trying to sell, I think this is what he's going for, and I use the term "going for" because it doesn't come across, at least not to me. He's going for this character who is like you see these big kind of famous NBA kind of players and stuff like that, where splashing their money around. This is the kind of character I think he's going for, right? So all the men want to be him, right? Because they want to have his money, and all the women want to have sex with him, right? Because he's so powerful and wealthy and stuff like that. That's what I think he's going for. I don't think that's a babyface character anyway. And I look at all these NBAs and all the and over here, football players who are like this, and I don't look at them and think, "Wow, what a great person you are." I think you're a douchebag, and you live in a bubble. You don't live in real world, and you've got more money than sense.
Yeah,
and you're entitled.
Something Roman Reigns should have done if he wants to put himself across as a nice guy, a face or whatever. You walk into a shop. How much does this watch? 400 grand. Yeah, it's good, but you know what? There's a kids' hospital across the street. I think they could do with the money more. I'm going to visit that place. There you go. That's what you probably should have done.
I'm going to give a couple of examples here, Alan, to back this up as well. Bear with me. I know we are going to head off in a sec. That I just want to use I've got to use these couple of examples, right? Okay, Hulk Hogan. He used to come out. I know it was a different time. Don't think that I don't realize that this isn't the 80s anymore. I am aware, right? But he used to come out, and the message he used to sell: believe in yourself, eat your vitamins. That's quite funny considering the drugs he was on, but this is still the message he was trying to sell. All right, take your vitamins, believe in yourself, pray to God, okay, and train. Now, despite what I might feel about some of those messages, he was trying to sell positive morals. He was trying to sell you to believe in yourself. He's trying to sell you on the fact, believe in yourself, train hard, stuff like that. He was trying to install a value system as his character, right? And then if you want to move on, let's go even to Stone Cold Steve Austin. A much more of a heelish character overall, but what made Austin so popular, at least mass wise, was that he ended up being a representation for the average working man, because he liked to cheat, he liked to drink beer, he beat up his boss, he liked to drink beer. He was a relatable character that lots of people could be like, you know what, I wish I could do that. Yeah. He drinks beer. He represents the average hardworking man on the street, right? Fighting the evil millionaire, right? Okay, they can relate to that. Even John bloody Cena, who's the next guy I'm going to talk about, even John Cena, despite him boring the pants off me, and despite me seeing through him because he was a phony fuck, at least was attempting to sell a message to at least younger people: hustle, loyalty, and respect. Believe in yourself. Do the right thing more often than not. Stuff like that, right? The morals exactly, never give up. So the morals he was trying, despite me being way too old for that crap and not believing it, that's different. At least he was trying to sell people on what is meant to be righteous. And despite him boring the hell out of me, at least I can see what they were going for. What does Roman Reigns, with the character he is portraying, morally, what message is he sending? get
None
rich,
whatsoever.
buy a
Yeah.
nice watch, humiliate people who haven't got your money. That sounds like the $1 Million Man.
It does actually, yeah. He's a new age $1 million man, except with about a fraction of his skill.
Agreed. So this is the world we're in, folks, where the 2026 main babyface apparently is literally the $1 Million Man. I'll be surprised if he doesn't take a kid out of the crowd next week, promise to pay him money and get him to dribble a basketball, and then he can kick the basketball away at the last minute. That's what he should do next week.
Is it? I mean, I'm pretty sure he must be a heel now, because you obviously, if you the end of the show was the main event was Sheikha Fatu versus Royce Keys in a street fight match.
Yep.
Jacob wins via the old Tongan death grip.
Yep.
Carries on the attack, post match. Reigns' music hits. Reigns comes down about halfway, stops, kind of smiles, and then walks back again, thinking, "Wait a minute, hang on. That's a heel thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't you've come down and told him, okay, that's enough is enough. You've won the match now. That's it, done. That's it. You're done now. Move on." No, he just comes in, smiles, and walks back again. That's a face in 2026, everybody. That's a face in 2026.
Yep. So I'm sorry. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit on a weekly basis, but I can't help because Roman keeps giving me material. Like literally every week, he just does more and more things that are generally considered quite despicable acts from most normal human beings. So I don't know, Al, if this is a problem with society, and that's a much deeper conversation we don't need to have on a wrestling channel. These actions are now seen in today's world as heroic, honorable, and positive attributes to have. That would explain a lot when I look out into the world. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep on this, but if that is that really what it is? Is that really what is people will cheer? Like people want their characters to be bastards.
I wouldn't be surprised because we live in an age now where people don't want to go to work. They just want to sit at home and sell NFTs, stocks, shares, that kind of stuff. And this is what Roman Reigns is propagating now, thinking, "Oh yeah, don't worry, all the people who support me probably have got like a YouTube channel with about 5 million subscribers or something, and they're probably making like grandage a fucking week."
Yep.
So there's the kind of people he's appealing to. He doesn't appeal to people like us or the average person who, like I said, can't afford a ticket to a simple show. He's not appealing to them at all, because I'm sure those people look at him and think, "You're a fucking douchebag. I don't want to see your watch. It's worth like nearly $500,000.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, no way. No way.
I just think they've just lost their way. I've just given you guys examples of 3 top baby faces who are all a bit different. Like Steve Austin, like I say, much more of a tweener character than either Cena or Hogan ever was.
But relatable.
Even he was relatable and had attributes which were positive attributes. He had his own moral code, but at the end of the day, he generally stood for every man. He generally was working class, and he ended up. Now, the initial Austin character wasn't like that. The initial Austin character was a villain, but when he turned babyface, he turned into that because they realized that he couldn't remain exactly that same character because he had to be a babyface. So he adapted the character so it became more like he was representing the modern America, which is what it was. Modern America, the modern man, the working class man, working class America. That's what he ended up kind of being a representation of. So he adjusted his character when he turned babyface. Roman, because he hasn't got a tenth of the talent Steve Austin has, at least when it comes to actual wrestling psychology and character work, right, is just playing exactly the same character he was before. So this character's fine for a heel. I want Roman Reigns as a heel. Show me your watch, mate. Brag to baby faces about your watch.
Yeah.
Do that. As a heel, do that.
Shows the camera and say, LA Knight can't afford this, and neither one of you are not here or at home can afford this either.
Exactly, Alan. Exactly. And it's stuff that's old as time. Like we said, DiBiase was doing that in 1987. It's easy. and it will always work because people will always be jealous of those with loads of money. Of course they will, and that's why they're heels. But this guy's trying to be a baby face, and this is his traits. It's backwards.
Yeah, it's certainly backwards storytelling. Certainly is. This bloodline, we've said it week after week after week after week. These guys are not faces. I don't care. You've got evidence. We've provided evidence to you. They are all heels, all of them.
I want anyone who's watching this. I want you to, next time you see Reigns come out and he acts like he has, just just erase him from your mind and put Ted DiBiase in his place. Just put Ted DiBiase in his place, and maybe you'll enjoy the character, because
at least he can wrestle.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that Ted would be doing, and I'd be cheering it because I love it. For the record, I love a good heel. But
yeah, give Roman a cape. He can go to a store and get his $1 million belt made.
They should have filmed him getting this watch, Alan, and he could have been all arrogant about it and exactly like Ted was.
Yeah, getting his watch custom made.
Exactly. Just do it.
He said, "I want to see it. I want to see. I want to see my belt. I want to see my watch."
Ted was great, and Reigns is great as well as a heel. So don't have him be a babyface because he can't do it.
Yeah, he can't. He can't be. All the little facial expressions, even LA Knight pointed out, scrunching the face up and all that. Yeah, heel.
But unfortunately, Alan, the last thing I will say, LA Knight ain't got a chance in hell. He's getting speared and pinned. You know it. I know it.
Right, so yeah.
So enjoy your moment in the sun, LA Knight, because after Reigns beats you, mate, I don't know where you go from there. I don't know where you go from there after you lose to him, mate. It's gonna be a long way down for you, buddy. And I like. Com hates LA Knight. I actually quite like him, but
yeah, I like LA Knight. So, he's got the charisma.
Yeah. But there we are. Anything else you want to add, Al? If you missed anything on Raw?
No, I'm good. Only that I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm going on holiday from Monday. So yeah.
Yeah. So hard for me to tell you guys about next week's show or the week after. The only options are if Com and Kev are around and not at work, I will ask one of them to come on. If not both. Hard for me to say that's for sure though, because it's very kind of touch and go with them, like to the last minute. If we can do a show and I can get one of them to come on, I will. If not, the only option will be for me to do a solo show. But I don't know if you guys want to hear me just sit and rant about Roman Reigns for half an hour, which is what I will probably do. But we could do a Q&A or something. So keep tuned and we'll see. But if we can't get a show to you the next couple of weeks because Al's away, then the show will be back once Alan returns the week after. So 3 weeks, I suppose. We'll have to see. I can't say either one. Like I say, maybe I could do a Q&A if you guys wanted, and we can do something like that. But I'll see if I can get Com or Kev to come on. But if not, then there might not be a show for a couple of weeks. So we're sorry about that. But Alan has a life as well. I don't, but Al does.
Yeah, I work very hard, and I need a holiday.
Yeah. All right then. Okay, so that's Tequila the Body Ventura, Lust. His name's Hulk. It's Lust, and the $1 Million Alan or the $1 Million Roman Reigns. Considering what we've been talking about.
Oh God, no, Ted. I'm Ted.
You're Ted. Do you want to do it to Ted laugh, and then we'll get out of here? That should be Reigns' new laugh next week. If he comes out and laughing like that, you know he's been watching.
Exactly. He needs to come out with he goes. He needs a new protege, doesn't he?
He does. He needs an African. Look, it was what it was. He needs an African American bodyguard. Alan is what he needs.
Royce Keys. There you go.
Royce Keys. Yes, Royce Keys joins him after. Yeah.
Royce Keys. Yeah, he goes. Yeah, I got him. A bag full of money, a fur coat, a diamond necklace, a trip around the world.
Yeah. Sweet sapphire.
And a Cadillac.
It's great. Okay, so that's it. We'll see you guys maybe next week. If not, it'll be in a couple of weeks' time. So until then, all I've got to say is, what a maneuver!
Yeah.
Where's your lexicon? Yeah. Yeah, take care, guys.
See you soon.